Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you live from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most here on The Rundown. Two-way views, conservative news, and Craig, guess what day it is?
Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Who's ready? Oh.
Throw Punch Thursday, bitch.
It is Ranger Panty Day.
It is Ranger Panty Day. So if you decide you want to wear Ranger panties and engage in conversation with a real man, you are going to get punched in the throat.
Gonna get throat punch.
Throat punch.
Now, hold on now. I won't say that people that wear Ranger panties are not real men, because Rangers wear Ranger panties.
Yes.
But you do open yourself up to throat punching. Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying they're not real men.
Yeah.
But if you engage in a conversation with a real man,
there you go.
Whether it be a real man or another real man, you're
there you go, another real man. Because
there you go.
Rangers are real men. Yeah.
Rangers are real men, but you do open yourself up to a throat punch.
If you open your mouth, yeah.
Yes.
Spews nonsense. Yeah. But that's anybody. Really. That's anybody. Don't have to be Ranger panty wearers. Yeah.
I'm guessing because he was kind of excited. Like, guess what day? I'm guessing he hit him because he probably didn't have his coffee yet.
Probably. Yeah. That could very well be it. Yeah.
That'll do it. Don't ever be too happy around somebody who is not appropriately caffeinated.
Yes.
That's how it works in my house anyway.
I would agree. Yep.
How's your day going thus far?
You're not too shabby. I don't want to jinx it, but I got in a nap earlier, so I'm doing good. You know.
Ooh, very nice. Very
really
nice.
A nap. It was kind of like I had like an hour to chill and watch TV on the couch. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have found that oftentimes, especially on work days, man, where I'm just like my brain is just spinning.
Yep.
Laying down on the couch and turning on the TV and putting something mindless on there, I'll have trouble falling asleep at night. But as soon as I put something on the TV, within 5 minutes, I'll fall asleep.
You know, that spinning thing, that might be too much caffeine. That might be too much coffee.
No, it's just thinking about all the stuff that either I didn't get done that day or I need to get done the next day. It's like the business mind is working. And so I have to shut the brain off. So there's a reason why I refer to the TV as the boob tube, because it shuts the brain off.
I got it. So what you're saying is you've got too much work to do. Your brain is spinning. You don't have enough time to get it done. So instead you choose to do nothing.
No, I choose to go to sleep. I'm trying to go to sleep at the time. I just need my brain to shut off. You know what I mean? It's like the off switch doesn't work.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
It's a hack. It works for me. Okay. Leave me alone.
It's a hack. See, I thought you would have called it the idiot box rather than the boob tube.
Oh, no, because if you see the right boob, it will shut your brain off.
It's idiots on the TV. It's not idiots watching it.
Oh, okay.
We call it the idiot box. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Well, there you go. We'll go with that one. How is everybody else out there doing today? Hey, I want to remind you, if you're watching this program live, and by the way, if you're watching at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Rumble, on Twitter, you're watching us live, which means we're following your comments. So if you got something to say, you think it's going to be cool or interesting, or you think we might, you want to disagree with us, because we do believe that disagreement is interesting, we'll go ahead and read your comments. But just know that if part of what makes it interesting is that we disagree, there's a reason why it's interesting to us, because then it gives us the opportunity to mock you.
Oh, wow. Is that a mockingbird?
Man, is that a mockingbird? Is that a mockingbird?
The resident bird, the official bird of the state of Florida.
That's right. The mockingbird. Yeah. You got a problem with that?
You got a problem with that? You got a problem with that? Good stuff. Already at the very beginning of the show, 1 minute in, American Crossfire saying, "What's up?"
Man, I miss those commercials. Miss those guys.
I do. Those are some good commercials. Those are definitely some good commercials. Speaking of commercials, why don't we go ahead and get into our program? And you know how we do it. We always start off with a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. Come on and get you some AR barrels. You got rifle caliber, pistol caliber, any length you desire for your next build or rebarrel your current AR platform. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in tactical concealed holsters on the market, get on over to hogholsters.com. That's HAWG holsters.com, hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, fire, security, EMS, paintball, Cub Scouts, whatever it may be, get your group together, get your agency together, place an order at uscombatgear.com, where you get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. These are our sponsors. They bring us to you so that we can bring you to them. So do us a favor, do them a favor, do yourselves a favor. Visit their websites. We make it real easy for you. All you have to do is follow the links in the description to this program. Go there, check them out, spend some money with them. Tell them those are the guys over at The Rundown that sent you. Also, once again, I want to remind you, share, like, subscribe, share, subscribe. Encourage your friends to do the same. We are on a bunch of different platforms. We're on Rumble, we're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify. If you want to watch it, if you want to listen to it, anywhere you get your podcast, you can listen to an audio version of it. On Spotify is the one, I think, where you can actually is one where you can actually watch the video as well. So wherever you get your podcast, go ahead and subscribe to us. The more subscribers we have, the more generous our sponsors are. So if you could help us out, if you don't already subscribe, please make sure that you subscribe on as many platforms as you like. And then you'll always get the notifications. The other reason why you want to subscribe is on multiple platforms is sometimes some of these platforms, well, they engage in a little bit of censorship. Rumble's really good. Spotify's been really good. But YouTube, well, we just got our YouTube channel back. So yeah, so they engage in major censorship. So knowing different places where you can go in the event that the show doesn't show up all of a sudden, it actually can be quite helpful.
Yeah. Welcome back, YouTube, and all the COVID resistors out there.
All of the COVID resistors, because we don't want you to get COVID with a K.
That's right. We want you to resist getting COVID. That's what we mean. Yeah.
They resist getting COVID with a K.
COVID with a K. Not the other COVID.
For those of you who do not know, that's how we lost our channel. Go figure.
Yep. Just like.
Okay. All right. Well, let's just, I don't know if you guys have noticed this as of late, but there have been a number of stories out there about, about some folks engaging in some, what's the word I'm looking for? Stealing, embezzling, unsavory, illegal acts. And for some reason, they almost all, I'm not going to say all, only because I probably haven't heard all of the stories, but all the stories that I have heard, just about all of them happen to be Democrat personalities or Democrat elected officials. And this story is no different, coming out of Florida. So this is probably Mike's Congresswoman right here. She has been caught stealing, or let me clarify, she's been indicted for stealing $5 million in taxpayer funds to bankroll her campaign. It says here, federal grand jury indicted Representative Sheila Sherfilis McCormick, a Democrat from Florida, and her brother on Wednesday for allegedly laundering millions of dollars of taxpayer funds to her political campaign in 2021. Money she then used to win a seat in Congress by just 5 votes. McCormick served as CEO of her family-owned healthcare company, Trinity Healthcare Services, when it submitted 17 false invoices to the Florida Department of Emergency Management in 2021 on a FEMA-funded COVID-19 contract. Those false invoices, all of which were submitted by her brother, Edwin, netted the company $5.7 million in taxpayer funds for work it was not entitled to and had not earned, the Washington Free Beacon reported. But instead of returning the stolen funds, Trinity doled out $6.2 million in profit-sharing fees to McCormick much of which landed in her campaign account through a series of loans and illegal straw donations, prosecutors alleged. So, Mike, here's the interesting thing. So, when they say via loans, that basically means that she's now probably out raising money. She probably went out and raised money, put in her campaign coffers, and then paid herself back. So, yeah, she used the money to win the seat, and then she used the seat to raise the money to pay herself back so she could keep the money.
Yes, yeah. And I'm reminded of a quote from the philosopher Dave Chappelle when he said, "Gotcha, bitch." Yeah. They,
As soon as you said Dave Chappelle, I was like, oh, yeah. But now, Mike, think about this. I mean, it's been what? A week to a week and a half when Gavin Newsom's chief of staff got caught stealing money,
yeah.
funneling it through a campaign, through someone's campaign account, or stealing campaign funds.
Yeah.
And I am quite sure these things happen, not investigating any of this.
Nope.
Now we're starting to see it happen.
Not at all. No. You know, I actually sent you a couple of pics too, Craig. She is from one of the legacy gerrymandered districts in Florida as well. So when we talk about crazy maps, she's definitely one. So if you take a look at these maps, you see those two little legs that come out, Craig.
Yeah.
Those are commonly known as the hood. That's those districts. And everything on the left side there, that's the Everglades. That's alligators and swamp puppies. You know, that's all that is out there. I mean, there's some little neighborhoods up along the coast of Lake Okeechobee, but you know, those are in the the hundreds and maybe a couple thousand people. The 95% of the people in her district live in those little gerrymandered slices that come out into the minority neighborhoods.
So what you're saying is that part over there to the left, that's where the bodies wind up that are accumulate in the hood.
I wouldn't say that. They end up inside a gator, perhaps. You know.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
In the Everglades, inside a gator.
Yeah, you don't go walking your puppy around the swamps. Let's just say that. So
there you go. So what's the haps? What are people talking about there in Florida when it comes to this? I mean, is there anybody really surprised?
No, because you got you're hitting it from both sides, right? You got, oh, it's a Democrat, oh, it's a Florida woman. Okay, well, of course it happened.
Only could have been more typical if it was a Florida man.
Well, Florida woman is much worse than Florida man. It's very intense on that end.
People are smart enough not to publicize Florida woman because she might come after you.
Oh, that's exactly right. Yeah, 100% right. Yeah, we're in danger just talking about her now.
I know. His name is Mike Piwowarski.
Yeah,
if you're listening.
When this came up and what district it was in, everybody just went, "Oh, well, of course that district." The previous person in there, Alcee Hastings. Remember, he was indicted and charged with bribery and everything else, and ended up getting his job back as well. I mean, I believe he ended up getting acquitted. Wink, wink. It was one of those acquittals with a backdoor deal, a plea deal acquittal kind of thing.
I am so surprised.
Yeah.
No,
like,
I didn't sell that one.
It was like, man, another black eye in politics in Florida. What district was it? The 20? Oh, okay. No, it's all right. Good. We get it. Yeah.
That's kind of how they roll out there, huh?
Yeah. And that district in particular seems to have all the issues. So,
well, it's all I can say is that when you believe, and this is part of the problem, when you believe that the law only applies when it's advantageous to you, this is the sort of stuff that happens. You start to think, if I can do it, then it must be legal.
Yeah, it's an ends justifies the means thing, right? Listen, I'm going to cheat up front, but I'm going to pay it back. It'll be all right because I'm meant to be in that seat.
What do you think the chances are she throws her brother under the bus? It was all him. It was all him.
Oh, this is everybody. Everybody's going down for this. This is there's going to be some politics. Listen, that's Broward County down there. That's the head of the Democrat Party in the state of Florida, and at one point was the campaign headquarters for Hillary Clinton in the country.
Oh yeah, well, because they were just creating votes out there with the hanging chads.
Oh, well, this was if you remember the news when they were finding U-Haul trucks full of ballots down there, that was where it was in her district.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Now wasn't that also back in 2000 where they had the hanging chads back with what's his snot
Yeah.
Bush and Gore, Bush
and
Gore.
Yeah, but that was a dispute over the actual ballot, right? It was from there that they decided, well, you know what? We need to have our own ballot so we don't have to worry about that. I mean, remember there was rental cars, U-Haul trucks, they had crates of this stuff, and every time they'd be like, what are you doing? And they're like, oh, these are just votes that didn't get turned in yet. What?
I remember that. It's like, what are you people doing?
Yeah.
Once again, it's like, you know what? And what was funny is that these are the same people who are like all on Donald Trump about, find me more votes.
Yeah.
He didn't say make more votes.
That's right.
He didn't say create more votes. He didn't say lie. He just said, find some votes. Which I will just say this, and I will continue to say this, as I've always said, you can't listen to what Donald Trump says because he doesn't always articulate himself in the most effective way.
Yeah.
He leaves the door open for his words to be misinterpreted.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's the way people from New York talk. It's just it's how it is.
Pretty much. All right. By the way, speaking of hinkily drawn districts or weirdly drawn districts, you might have heard, and we talked about this a little bit. A Texas judge or panel has actually thrown out or invalidated the Texas redistricting. Now, it's only at this particular level, so obviously it's going to be appealed. But there was a dissenting judge, and who basically, when the judge put the thing out, did not give them an appropriate amount of time or didn't give them any time to actually respond. So they put out their own dissent. And the interesting thing about this dissent is this judge made it a point 15 different times to note that they dissented. Anyway, let's read through this here real quick. It says when a federal court Tuesday dropped its bombshell 160-page decision invalidating Texas Republicans' mid-decade redistricting effort as blatant racial gerrymandering, there was one big missing piece of the puzzle: a dissent. It turns out Trump-appointed Judge Jeffrey Brown, who authored the majority opinion, didn't allow dissenting Judge Jerry Smith, a Reagan appointee, much time to respond in writing, releasing a ruling before the counterpoint was finished, as is customary. Quote, "Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night," Smith wrote bluntly in a statement released late Wednesday. What followed was a remarkable statement of sharp personal criticism and vigorous legal argument, notable both for its tone and rationale, which could potentially influence members of the Supreme Court who will ultimately decide the fate of Texas's 2025 map. Smith, a member of the federal bench for more than 37 years, repeated the phrase, "I dissent," 15 times over 100 pages. He accused Brown of pernicious judicial misbehavior and the most outrageous conduct by a judge that I have ever encountered for not waiting to consider his dissent before going public with the ruling. Brown's opinion, joined by Judge David, I'm not even going to pronounce it, an Obama appointee, Guadarrama. There you go.
Perfect.
There you go. An Obama appointee and released Tuesday afternoon blocked Texas from deploying a new congressional map for the 2026 midterm elections, concluding, quote, "substantial evidence that show that Texas racially gerrymandered the map." The conclusion roiled a nationwide redistricting arms race initiated by President Trump as a part of a bid to retain Republican control of the narrowly divided House of Representatives. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said he will appeal. Now, I'm not going to get into kind of and I'll put a link to the article in here if you want to go and you want, if you want to go and you want to read what is in the dissent or why they dissented. But pretty much it amounts to this. It basically is, you're trying to say that they're racially gerrymandering, and what it is they're politically gerrymandering, which, by the way, is historical and completely legal because they've always done that. Democrats especially have always done that. The problem is that it seems gerrymandered because, well, Democrats are overwhelming, or blacks are overwhelmingly Democrat. And you're saying that, well, because these areas now are gerrymandered, the way in which they're gerrymandered, because it puts Democrats in these areas, what you're doing is you're not allowing you're not allowing areas that might have other black people in them to elect black people. In other words, to elect Democrats.
Yeah, exactly. And you could kind of see on those maps that you were showing there, Craig. The way a gerrymandered district just meanders through, the landscape there, looking for minority neighborhoods, and trying to link them together, as opposed to, via political or geographical boundaries as it's been approved. I mean, this is, it's a fight because the Democrats know they're going to lose this. This is they're drowning at this point when it comes to gerrymandering. The Voters' Right Act is before Congress, or excuse me, before the Supreme Court, and they've already telegraphed their signals there. That's going to be pretty much going away. That's what it's anticipated. It's going to be pretty much going away. So they're fighting and fighting and fighting to try and keep this, and it's not going to happen. The House is going to gain multiple seats. I mean, I think the last count I saw was 15 to 20 minimum over this issue in a couple of states that are getting rid of, unlike what the Democrats saying, they're going to be getting rid of racial gerrymandering. What the Democrats want is reverse racism gerrymandering. They want it to be segregated, so you have all black districts, as opposed to counties or cities voting. They want these little pockets of minorities to vote so they have power.
Well, and some of this also, the things that change is the certain aspects of the Voting Rights Act. And what a lot of people don't realize is yes, the Voting Rights Act worked to ensure that everybody had a right to vote and that right to vote was protected. But it's important to keep in mind that one of the other things that it did was there were certain states that had been identified, not almost, all southern states, that had to get any changes that they made to how their elections were run or how their redistricting was done. They had to get it approved by the federal government. Well, that was something that was passed 60, 70 years ago, right?
Yeah.
They're basically being ruled by something 60 years ago. And I'm sorry, there is no evidence that the level of racism that existed, largely because Democrats were in charge of most of these southern states, that existed then still exists to this day because, well, the Democrats are, in most of those cases, are no longer running things.
Yeah, the Voters' Rights Act was needed when it was put forth. I mean, like you said, it was on the midst and the tail end of the civil rights movement. It was to keep the Klan from showing up at voting places in black districts.
Right.
It was to keep the crooked law enforcement at the time from setting up checkpoints and roadblocks in those neighborhoods to keep people from voting. That's what it was for. It ran its course. I mean, it's
Right.
like affirmative action, Craig. Okay, everything was corrected. Everything was put on the right track. It fast laned getting things on the right track of equality, and now it's 40 years too old, and we don't need it.
Right. And their argument is always, well, we'll always, we need it. But I'm like, look, if you go back and you look at whether it was affirmative action or even the Voting Rights Act, they recognize that this was not something that was going to be needed forever.
Right.
Right. The wrongs that had been created. And by the way, affirmative action has never righted the wrongs because it's largely has not been implemented the way it was intended. It was intended as a way to say, look, we want to try and make sure that everyone has an equal opportunity.
Right.
What they did is that they then instituted things like quotas and basically they started discriminating against if you weren't a part of a disadvantaged group, you started getting discriminated against flat out. And the courts have now ruling that, the courts are now ruling you don't need to do that anymore.
You had reverse racism going on. You had, the people that were on the same level, if they were on the same level of qualifications, the minority got bonus points because of affirmative action.
Well, in some cases, even if they weren't at the same level.
Yeah.
You had many cases, like especially when it came to access to higher education.
Yeah.
You had students with like 4.0, 4.2 GPAs with super high SAT scores getting rejected from schools where Black students with a 3.2 GPA and a medium score on the SAT were getting accepted.
Yeah.
That made no sense. I mean, if that's not discrimination, I don't know what is.
And
it's all based on race.
In addition to education, and government jobs was the other place where it really came. In fact, I had a friend that we both went out for the same job. I eventually got it, but he got it like 2 years earlier because his last name was Spanish, Castilian Spanish name from Europe. But he put down that he was Hispanic because of that and got the job 2 years before anybody else. The rest of his white friends did,
That's the difference between being Hispanic and being Latino.
Yeah, he was about this Hispanic, Craig. How y'all doing today? He was that.
Well, there is a difference between being Hispanic, which actually does include people of Spanish descent, and Latino, which is basically Latin America. But you know who the biggest beneficiaries of affirmative action were? White women.
Well,
they were the biggest beneficiary. They benefited most in terms of government jobs, and government contracting. And when you look at college admissions these days, college admissions as well.
Yeah, listen, I'm not picking a fight with any women, so
no.
You can comment on that. That's it.
Liberal white women.
That's it.
Well, they ain't voting Republican anyway, so.
No.
Anyway, interesting stuff though. So it'll be real interesting to see how this thing winds up playing out in court. It's going to be fast tracked here relatively soon because they've got to make a decision on this.
Yeah.
I honestly, once again, I know that there is a historical case for political gerrymandering. I just, I could see this going either way. I really could. Not so much the fact that they're doing the gerrymandering, but because it's political gerrymandering, I could see it getting thrown out.
Yeah, no, I get it. Again, I just there's no place for it. The Democrats in the Congress want to tell us that you and I are both racist, Craig, because we don't know how to pick between the best person for the job rather than the best white person or black person for the job.
Exactly. I'm going to vote for the best. I want the best. I want the best brain surgeon if I need brain surgery. I want the best auto mechanic if I'm getting my car worked on. I want the best president.
That's right.
Regardless of race.
Yep, exactly right.
Orange man good.
That's right.
All right. Another interesting judicial decision that was made most recently, and that has to do with the National Guard deployment in Washington, D.C. Now, you might recall it's actually in the Constitution that allows the president to do this, but for some reason, a U.S. judge has moved to halt Trump's National Guard deployment in Washington, D.C. This is being reported by Reuters. It says a federal judge on Thursday moved to halt President Donald Trump's deployment of National Guard troops to Washington, D.C., a temporary legal setback to Trump's efforts to send military to American cities over objections of local leaders. U.S. District Judge Jai Cobb, an appointee of former President Joe Biden, temporarily blocked the Trump administration from deploying National Guard troops to enforce the law in the nation's capital without approval from its mayor. However, she paused her ruling until December 11th to allow the administration to appeal. Of course she did, because they're going to appeal and they're going to win. The legal fight is playing out alongside several others across the country as Trump presses against long-standing but rarely tested constraints on presidents using troops to enforce domestic law. White House spokeswoman Abigail Jackson said in a statement that Trump acted lawfully and called the lawsuit an attempt to undermine his successful efforts to stop violent crime. The District of Columbia Attorney General Brian Schwab said in a statement that permitting Trump to use troops to enforce domestic law set a dangerous precedent. Schwab, an elected Democrat, sued on September 4th after Trump announced the deployment on August 11th. The lawsuit accused Trump of unlawfully usurping control of the city's law enforcement and violating a law prohibiting troops from doing domestic police work. Now, Mike, once again, as we have noted, these not only does the Constitution give the president the authority to do this, to take over control of local law enforcement, but so does the charter. The city charter for the city of Washington, D.C. gives him the authority to do that. I'm wondering on what legal basis could this judge possibly think they have whatever he or it has to stand on this particular decision?
Well, you already gave the legal basis, Craig. Orange man bad. That's the legal basis here. If here you have a judge, you have the attorney general, you have a number of people that are saying, no, we want crime. That's our thing here. That's how we're identified in DC. It's a crime-ridden city. We continue to see the stats coming out of DC in the massive reductions in violent crimes. But no, the Democrats are going to fight for their people to be killed in crime victims.
I don't get it. I mean, I can see you challenging it in other cities only because he doesn't have the specific legal authority to do it. Now, I think you have a legal case. I just don't know that in those particular cases that you have a good PR case, because in places like Chicago, where a woman was just lit on fire on public transit, it ain't safe. Chirac is not a safe place. The city of Oakland is not a safe place.
Remember, the National Guard, the mission is different in DC as it is in those cities. In DC, it does have the authority to take up law enforcement action. In those other cities, and the administration has been very clear on this, the National Guard's there for logistical support and security of federal facilities. That's right. You're not out looking to make arrests, like they did in DC. And even with DC, they made sure DC police were present with them at every turn.
Right. I just think it's a bad look saying that you want to stop the president from stopping violent crime.
We're still waiting for the Democrats to find something that's reasonable or feasible for them to stand behind as a policy. Imagine what they're going to say. Here's our campaign platform on the midterms. We stop Donald Trump from stopping crime. Oh, okay.
We stop Trump from stopping crime.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, and at this point, another judicial ruling, Craig. I think now when the administration has to go to court to fight their case, they might as well just file the appeal then. Just because this administration could just sit back and go, another ruling? Yeah, we appealed it, right? Okay, ignore it until then.
Pretty much. Because in the end, it winds up being a victory for him.
That's right.
Whether or not, see, here's the thing. If he doesn't get to send troops, he can say, I tried to fight crime. Your local electeds, Democrats, did not want us to fight crime.
That's right.
It's a PR win for him.
Yeah.
And if he sends them, crime goes down. It's a win.
Yeah. And their argument is, well, we want them to fight crime. Just send us more money. Oh, okay. So you can steal it and use it improperly, like every time it's been proven. Like
so you can send social workers out to deal with the 5150.
Yeah. There you go.
The guy with the knife. Yeah. You want to get social workers stabbed. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Bad idea.
Yep.
Well, looks like gun groups have a little something to be excited about. Now, mind you, they still want to see the ATF done away with. But if you're going to have it, might as well appoint this guy. That's right. Trump's pick for ATF director garners guns group support. Bah, that was easy for me to say. From the moment the role of ATF director began requiring Senate confirmation, the job has been a political headache. While Biden was able to get Steve Dettelbeck, there you go, Dettelbeck, Little Dick, through the process, it wasn't his first choice at all. Trump had difficulty getting anyone confirmed during his first term as well. In fact, the role sat vacant for years, and it's vacant once again. As noted Wednesday, though, ATF Deputy Director Robert Selcata has gotten the nod, and gun groups are thrilled with the decision. I guess this is from a letter or an article. It says President Trump's nominee to head the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives is being hailed Wednesday as the first ever truly pro Second Amendment choice to lead the agency. Quote, in his role as deputy director, we have worked closely with Robert Sakata to ensure law-abiding gun owners have a seat at the table in shaping policy. Knox Williams, president and executive director of the American Suppressor Association, said in a statement, quote, if confirmed, he would be the first ever truly pro-Second Amendment nominee to head the agency, Williams added. By nominating an ATF director who understands our community and respects our constitutional rights, President Trump and his administration are further underscoring their commitment to standing up for the Second Amendment, and for gun owners. Also included is NSSF has put out a statement. You've also have Alan Gottlieb, chairman of the Citizens Commission to what is
CCRBA.
yes, CCRKBA. I always forget what that all stands for, but
Yeah.
basically, they're one of the largest gun rights groups in the country. Everyone more knows Alan Gottlieb than they know the name of the organization. They just know it when they see it. I'm still waiting to hear what GOA and FPC have to say, but I have a feeling they're going to get behind him as well. In my experience and understanding who he is, not only is he, when I say pro Second Amendment, he understands that the primary role of the head of the ATF is to help administer the exercising of your rights, right? It's not your job to be pro-gun or anti-gun. It's your job to make sure that firearms retailers are doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they have the ability to do what they need to do, and gun owners have the ability to do what they need to do and go after people who are violating gun laws. That's really kind of his job.
Yeah. And Citizens Committee for the Right to Keep and Bear Arms.
There you go. You got it.
Yeah, I'm sure FPC will support this. They usually fall in line with SAF as well. They seem to be ideologically attached there. GOA though, who knows? I mean, they could come back with we don't support anybody. We want ATF disbanded immediately. Because they're absolutists. So
well, FPC is kind of absolutist as well. But I think what I would not be surprised to see come from them is we still want to see the ATF disbanded, but as long as it's still there, we like this guy.
Yeah, you see, and that's where usually GOA doesn't do that because they're absolutist all the time. And listen, I absolutely want 100% of my gun rights back, but I know I got to get them back the same way that we lost them, one bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
This is good news. This is good news. Perhaps his role will be to pare down the ATF back to their core mission, and then we've already seen many of the ATF agents removed from ATF to other federal agencies. So they are at a smaller number now than they were when this administration started. So it seems like, again, more good news, right?
Oh yeah, definitely more good news. I'm really happy to see this. I don't feel like I would. Part of the problem is Donald Trump has been doing so much. I think that there's a lot of expectation in the gun rights community that they feel like stuff should be happening faster. That's kind of how I feel. I'm like, why isn't stuff happening faster? But he's doing so much. It's like, dude, we're not even a year in. So I have to keep reminding myself of that.
Yeah.
Having said that, I think this is definitely a step in the right direction, because I think a lot of the stuff that needs to be done when it comes to gun rights is dealing with the bureaucracy. and the literal poisoning of the bureaucracy and the government bureaucracies with anti-gunners.
Yeah. Listen, look at the incredible amount of stuff that Donald Trump has done so far, right?
Yeah.
Today is the 10th month anniversary.
Yeah.
10
No,
months he's done this.
completely agree, bro. Completely agree. But like I said, sometimes it gets real easy to forget.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because he's done 8 years worth of work in 10 months,
Yeah. Yes, he has. That now brings us to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces, one word, and get your Hog Holster today. All right, our parting shots today are brought to you by our friends over at the Babylon Beef, fake news that you can trust. This first one here, Mondami targets the rich with new tax on anyone who makes more than $0 a year.
Yeah. The sad part about that is there are plenty of people in New York that make less than $0 a year when you do the math.
I do not doubt that. I do not doubt that one bit. But yeah, he's going. People don't understand that once the rich people leave, the programs don't go away. They just start taxing the other people who are left.
That's it. Exactly.
Now I know that some people were concerned about what's going to happen now that Trump has signed the bill with the regarding the Epstein files. Well, the second shoe has now dropped. Trump sadly announces a dog ate the Epstein files, and then the dog was lost in a boating accident, and then the boat was nuked.
Yeah, it happens. It happens.
It does happen. It does happen. All right, this last one here I wanted to share. It's not from the Babylon Bee, but just so you get an idea of how long how long people, wealthy people, people in the media, people who are in the know, knew who Jeffrey Epstein was. This video right here is from 2019. Check it out.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air. First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story. Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. And then Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in it because of the planes. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton, we had everything. I tried for 3 years to get it on, to no avail, and now it's all coming out, and it's like these new revelations, and I freaking had all of it. I'm so pissed right now. Like, every day I get more and more pissed because I'm just like, oh my God, what we had was unreal. Other women backing it up. Hey, yep. Brad Edwards, the attorney, 3 years ago, saying there will come a day when we will realize Jeffrey Epstein was the most prolific pedophile this country has ever known. I had it all 3 years ago.
Yeah, I remember seeing that video back then. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that back then, and I remember the reminders now, and now here we are so much later. And once again, the powerful people who are being protected almost are overwhelmingly Democrats.
Yeah.
Now,
yeah.
She said the name Alan Dershowitz, and Alan Dershowitz, and the only reason why I bring him up is because he's a liberal, but he's also one of Trump's, been a big defender of Donald Trump. Largely, I think, because they were friends from back in Trump's days when he hung out with the liberal intelligentsia there in New York.
Yeah.
Anyway, interesting stuff. I have a feeling, though, that when these files all get released, it's going to be a lot of people embarrassed, but it might wind up being I'm not going to say it's going to be a nothing burger, but I think that if there are people who are going to wind up being embarrassed, it's mostly going to be on the Democratic side of the aisle.
Yeah. And again, like I said yesterday, I mean, there's obviously going to be some people that are have their names released or implications going on there, but I think people are expecting, 24/7, body cam footage of what Jeffrey Epstein did for 8 years, and it's just not out there. It's not there.
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, let me give a quick shout out Todd Baker, who is watching out of, he's a Democrat. Oh no. I thought you were saying you were Todd. I'm sorry. I thought you were saying you were a Dem out of Florida. I was like, no. He's like Dem out of Florida going down, as well as Larry Summers going down. Well, Larry Summers has already resigned from his position as a professor, and I have a feeling while he probably has tenure there at Harvard, and so therefore they may not necessarily be able to fire him as being a professor. They just won't give him any classes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's how you do it.
That's how they're going to deal with him. But yeah, no, dude, you decided that you were going to text message and or email the convicted pedophile for dating advice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
not smart. Todd confirmed. He said no. He's here in California, behind enemy lines, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. Todd, thank you so much for tuning in. All right, before we go, we got one more thing to do, and y'all know what that is. It's just another quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yep. Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. They got barrels. They got lots of barrels, AR barrels. They got pistol barrels. They got rifle barrels. They got all kinds of crazy stuff. Check them out at hitmanindustries.net for all your barrel needs. California Republican Assembly fighting the good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, law enforcement, security, EMS, fire, whatever it may be, get your group together, get your agency together, place an order at uscombatgear.com where you can get everything except the gun.
That's right, folks. Once again, please take a moment, encourage your friends to subscribe. I'm just sending a message here to Todd, reminding him to have his friends subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. Anyway, folks, thank you so much once again for tuning in. Thank you for liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We will be back tomorrow on Free for All Friday, so we're going to have a good time. I hope you will join us. Talk to you then.